The Senate report says that at one point in 2006, President Bush was told about one of your detainees who was chained, his hands chained to the ceiling of his cell, forced to wear a diaper and to go to the bathroom on himself, and that he was disturbed by this. Are you okay with that procedure?
All of these techniques were approved by the lawyers and were looked at by the IG and everybody else. So yes, I'm okay with all of these procedures.
You know, I went to look at the dictionary this week and see what the definition of torture is, and it is inflicting severe pain on someone, either to punish them or to force them to say or do something. Isn't this torture what you were doing?
Look, there are a number of things on the record about this. The first is a piece of paper, a binding legal opinion in writing that we received from Justice Department, the Office of Legal Counsel at Justice Department, that said that waterboarding and 10 other techniques were legal. That's the first thing. The second thing that I would tell you is that this is one of the most thoroughly reviewed covert action programs in the history of the agency. There were thorough investigations conducted by John Durham from 2009 to 2012 regarding the legality of all of this. And in the end, no prosecutable offenses were found. No one tortured anybody else.
The Senate report is very strong in saying that the CIA misled Congress. Now, you, in many cases, for all I know, all the cases, were the man who was briefing members of Congress dozens of times, including Nancy Pelosi when she was one of the top people on the House Intelligence Committee, and Dianne Feinstein. How specific were you in what you told them about these enhanced interrogation techniques, and did they ever raise any concerns?
I remember very clearly briefing Nancy Pelosi in September of 2002. The Congress had been on break. As soon as they got back from break in September, the first thing I did is I went to brief her and Porter Goss, who was the chairman of the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence at the time. We briefed her, and I was not the only one who came from the agency. I had my lawyers with me. We briefed her specifically on the use of the enhanced interrogation techniques on Abu Zubayda. So she knew back in September of 2002 every one of our enhanced interrogation techniques.
Let me ask you specifically. Did you tell her about waterboarding? Did you tell her about sleep deprivation?
Yes, we did. Yes, I did.
Did you tell her about slapping or pushing again into walls and all of the techniques?
I briefed her on all of the techniques.
And
these people were fully aware of all of the techniques that were given to us and approved by the Office of Legal Counsel at Justice.
And did, just to take the example you've given us, Nancy Pelosi, did she ever object to the techniques that you mentioned?
She never objected to the techniques at all. The only one that ever objected to any of this, and it was more of a caution, was Jane Harman in 2003 when she says, be careful because the perception will be in the future that you did this to hide something. But she was the only person who ever objected to anything.
And how about Jay Rockefeller, who was the chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee? Because there have been reports that, in fact, he urged you to do more to more people. Is that true?
Yes. You know, it's interesting because I can remember going back to hearings and meetings with the Congress back in 2002, and their biggest thing that they told me was, you know, your problem is that you guys are risk averse. You got to go out and use the authorities that you were given to protect America. All of these people were briefed, Rockefeller in particular. Senator Rockefeller actually was very knowledgeable, even to the point of requesting specific information that was in the 2004 IG report. He wanted more information, and he asked for the original cable. So all of these people knew exactly what we were doing.